Hello everybody, Dr. F Scott Feil here, PT Educator. Bringing you chapter 2.2 in the book process. This section of the chapter is all about failure. And I've been through many failures in my life, and I kind of talk about a little bit of them in the book, really starting back with getting into PT school. I was an English major. I didn't have any of the prerequisites, so every time I applied, I got rejected. So it took me a whole extra year after graduating undergrad to eventually take all the prerequisites needed to eventually apply and then get into one PT school finally at East Carolina University. So from there, my next big failure was, the NPTE exam. I talk about this all the time on my podcast, the Healthcare Education Transformation Podcast, but it took me several times to pass that test. And, it was really a perfect storm of tough consequences and things for me. My dad had gotten ill and passed away. I had failed the test already a couple times, so the pressure was definitely starting to mount. And, I just wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with my life and what direction I wanted to head. That on top of my test anxiety, and it was just a really bad combination. So I kept at it, kept studying, kept my nose in the books, and eventually was able to pass, and I've had a great career ever since. One of the earliest failures that I can kind of remember is back in high school, trying out for the swing choir. It was a kind of a small choral group that was a little bit more talented than just your average high school choir group. And I went in all prepared, ready to sing my song. And the head of the group didn't exactly know the song that I was trying to try out with. Was having kind of trouble picking it up on the piano, and he eventually said, "You know what, just sing one of the chorus songs." So that kind of threw me for a loop. I was a little bit flustered, and I ended up not making it in. As it turned out, it was probably one of the better things for me because I ended up, doing the musicals. I ended up doing some sports, ended up being class president. So, at the end of the day, it really kind of worked out. But the moral of the story here, I think the take home is that there really isn't anything too daunting about failure. The only real failure is if you stop trying and you stop doing what you're doing. Because every failure is really just a learning experience. I know it's kind of cliche at this point, you hear it time and time again, but for the most part, like I said, failures for me have just been learning experiences, and I've learned how not to do things and how to change things up and change direction. So, when it comes to starting a business or trying a new stream of revenue or doing something a little bit different, don't be afraid to fail. Just get your hands dirty, get in there and give it your best try, because really, like I said, failure is just a learning experience. So keep that in mind, and I will see you next week.